Okay guys, here's another very key area of a bluff feature. This is what's called a bluff end or channel swing end. Now, this is characterized, if you can look behind me here, you see how far this bluff runs down here? We're coming to a point right here. This point area is another super high percentage area, and there's a lot of complexity to a bluff point. Now, when you're talking about the sweet spot on a bluff point, it's not just the point that we're going to get up on here in a second. It's the area leading down like 50 to 100 yards before you get to this point. This area, like from right here to the point, is what is I call a key staging area for winter and pre-spawn bass. This is one of the areas they really gravitate to in bigger numbers. The rock slides we talked about before, you might catch a fish or two off them. But an area like this, these areas right before you get to the point, you might catch a whole school of fish. Now, as you come to the point, like we're getting up right here, a lot of times the point will start to get flatter. It's not going to turn into a bluff like this. This is another transition area, which is a high percentage area. And once you get to the bluff point, the fish don't relate to the bluffs per se, but they still are in the area and they may use it as like a migration route. Typically, when you get to a bluff point like there, it starts to flatten out, and then based upon the slope of the flat is how going to be deep it is out the water, out off the end of it. Now, when you get to a bluff point, this is when those fish will use a diversity of different water depths. Some of these fish will be suspended way out over deeper water relating to the point. Some of them will be on the bottom in like, 10 to 15 feet of water. Some of them may be suspended shallower over 20, 25 foot of water. But this is a key high percentage area that you have to consider being part of the bluff. It's part of the bluff structure itself. Okay guys, let's start off talking about what a bluff bank is specifically. Now here's a prime example of a bluff. A bluff is usually some type of a vertical type wall. You can see there's a high mountain hill right there coming down in some type of a very steep rock configuration. Now, it can be vertical like this, or it can be a little bit different slopes. We're going to give examples. But the main thing about a bluff, what makes it good, is there's access to deep water nearby. So you can see we're about probably 30 foot away from the bank. Water is 31 feet deep there. And then you got the main river channel out here. So you have immediate proximity to deep water. And this is one of the things that makes a bluff so appealing to fish, is that slope and that proximity to deeper water. Now, what is under the water on these bluffs depends, because sometimes it can be vertical wall, sometimes it can be a gradual slope. As you can see now, we're about 20 foot away. It's still 20 some feet of water. This is a perfect bluff scenario. Now, you can catch fish anywhere along the bluffs, but they're going to be high percentage areas. Now, this area we're coming up on here, guys, let me show you. This is one of the key areas you have to remember when you're fishing bluffs, and that is a rock slide. Any irregular feature like this, you can see there's a little gut up there, and if you take a look right there, you can see how the rock slide has come down into the water. Now, this right here, guys, this rock slide comes out into the water. This is a high percentage area. Anytime that you're fishing bluff banks and you see something like this, go to an extra effort to spend a lot of time fishing here, because you can see the vertical wall there doesn't offer as much cover, but with the broken rock here, got a lot of different cover potential. A couple other things on structure on bluffs you may or may not have in the lake you fish. A lot of lakes have standing or submergent timber off of bluffs, because you can see all the timber up there on those bluff walls. It's the same down here. These standing timber or submergent timber like this are also key areas on bluff areas, because the fish like to suspend around this type of stuff. So if you do have standing or submerged timber on the lakes you're fishing, really pay attention to how deep it is, and pay attention on your depth finder. If you see any type of standing timber like that, a lot of times in the cooler weather months, like, you can take a jerk bait or an A-rig and fish it next to that type of timber, and you can definitely catch them like that.